What is up, everybody? How's it going? I am your host with the locks that rocks, your favorite cyborg, Adam Richmond, and this is Surviving Rocklahoma. Let me know if audio is coming in nice and clear before we get this live stream kicking. I think I fixed that filter that I was dealing with last week. How we doing? I'm looking in the comments now before we get everything started. Nice and clear. Thank you. We are currently live on Facebook, but we are simultaneously live streaming with the power of the internet. And we are going live every week on Facebook, Twitch, and on YouTube. And our podcast is available in post on all of the coolest toys, anywhere that you get your podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all that good stuff. Speaking of Spotify, I should say, it's all full of tongue twisters tonight. I think I need to digress and crack open a cold one. But as I was about to say, I'm going to talk a little bit about our Spotify playlist. I updated it, added a ton of bands to it recently, and we're going to keep building it. So every time we feature somebody on the show, it's going to work like it's supposed to. And then we're going to throw more of that music into that Spotify playlist. And I am checking in the comments once more. I see Christy Gross is in the comments. What is up, Christy? Heather West, what is up? Jason. Wonderful. Glad everybody could join us this evening. How was your Monday? I tell you what, how was your weekend? Let us know in the comments. You can also email the show at survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com. Let's go ahead and take care of our sponsors so we can go ahead and crack open a cold one, shall we? First up, we got DEB Concerts, who answers the question, what do you want to do with your life? I want to rock! Well, rock he has been doing, and rock he will be doing, not only at Rocklahoma, inside of the Roadhouse, the DEB concert stage. He's got a big show coming up here at the Vanguard. First time he's done a show there. And he's going to be featuring Last in Line. And I believe it was Lita Ford, wasn't it? Yes. Tickets are available now, including VIP packages up there in that balcony up there. That's freaking cool up there. I love it. I need to start trying to weasel my way into that VIP area or something, because that's the place to be. Got more gray hairs and made life worth living, Kenny says in the comments. Also, I want to give a shout out to At Your Service Rentals. Guys, this company is freaking awesome. Let me tell you what they can do. They will bring you your crapper cubicle to your campsite at Rocklahoma, born and raised, music festivals. It's awesome. And you can even get a swimming pool for your campsite too. And trust me, it is hot Labor Day weekend. So those swimming pools are just a game changer for however you do your music festival out there at Rocklahoma or born and raised. Labor Day and a couple of weeks later, Tonky Tonk Sister fires up there in Pryor, Oklahoma. Now, outside of Rocklahoma, they've also got other great services, include shower houses, sanitation stations, and portable fencing and all that other great stuff. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you've got a construction site, your company's putting on an event, or maybe you just need some more facilities for whatever reason, well, give At Your Service Rentals a call, especially at those music festivals, okay? You don't want to be stuck in line waiting to poo-poo, but you're stuck in the line, you know? Like that guy. Hey, what are you doing over there.
Shitter was full!
Yeah, he didn't call at your service rentals. Also want to give some love to Rockavet, the non-profit group that has been helping to get our veterans the medicine that is music. And we've given away over 60 passes to Rocklahoma and Born and Raised, as well as several other festivals and concerts as well. I love working with these guys, and they've got some big plans for this year. So you make sure you want to give them some love on Facebook. Check them out, Rockavet. Give them some love in the comments. Jason Polk, I do see, is in the comments. The mastermind behind it. Also want to give a huge shout out to the Rocklahoma bitches. Well, these girls are some of my favorite enthusiasts of the live music scene, especially of Rocklahoma Music Festival in our community. You can find them just about at any live event, and you can't miss them when you do. So a lot of love to Christy and Kendra. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. Also want to give some love to the folks that give you a busload of debauchery, the big old bus. And they were rocking in 2023 at Rocklahoma. Also made their debut at Rock the River here in Tahlequah, in my backyard, over there down by the creek, down by the river. I need to get a sound effect for that. Chris Farley, man, in a van down by the river. Well, these guys bring the school bus, man, and you can't miss them at Rocklahoma, because anytime you go in between the GA and the VIP, you're going to see the crowd. You're going to see the wild stuff that you don't see hardly anywhere else. They love to push the boundaries, but keep everybody safe at the same time. So we love everybody at the big old bus. If you'd like to work with the show, do me a favor, shoot me an email, survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com. Let me know a little bit about your business, what we could do for you, what you got in mind. We're going to be needing to up our hustle a little bit this year. We got a road trip coming up here in a couple of months, which you know about. But we're going to tell you a little bit about it later in the show as we get ready to cross the country once again. I've also got some musical guests. We've got Severmind, Tretura. I've got an interview with my man Gimpy from the Big Mad Morning Show on KMOD. I'm so excited that I got to sit down with him yesterday, and we're going to go ahead and play that full interview. It was just awesome getting to know the guy behind the voice that we get to listen to every morning. We're also going to catch up with one of his favorites, the Normandys, to round out the show. So get your libations, get your drinks, get whatever it is, however you like to relax from a long, stressful day as you kick back with me and grab a fresh, chilled, tasty brew. Now, I've been working with my man Monty at Prior Liquors, and he provided me with a sampler pack so that I can try a different beverage every week on the show. And I have really enjoyed sampling new brews, and we've been doing a lot of IPAs recently, but I love all kinds of beers, craft beers, different kinds of beers, all of that other stuff. And this one is from Breckenridge Brewery. Roasted malts with notes of vanilla. This is a vanilla porter. Give you a little bit of a peek there. If you have interest, as you want to catch up on the show later on, let's circle back. If you'd like to try the same beer with me, as I've been told that some folks do, and that's a new one to me. Love it. But I'm going to go ahead and crack open this vanilla porter, courtesy of Prior Liquors, Wines, and Spirits. Here's to all of you, Rock family, and everyone watching the live stream. Cheers. Oh, I have never had that in a beer. Ooh, and that really satisfies the cotton mouth that I was dealing with. All right. That made my liver quiver. I am ready to get this show on the road. How about you guys? So I've got a couple of things to talk about. Most specifically, I have, let's see where we're at. We got a weekend review. We've been out at we were out at the shrine. Sorry, I got a message. Sidetracked. Threw me off. All right. Yeah. Weekend review. We were at the shrine Friday night for India's RIP to my youth. And it was just such an awesome time seeing all of you folks. And it was, we saw Steel Knock, Off Division was there. We was also joined by several others, and I'm trying to think of all the names, but there was one band, I didn't see the graphic, and I wanted to give them a little love. They were really heavy. Now, if you go to the Facebook page, I tell you what, I've got some pictures, a couple of little video clips and such, and it was an amazing time. And how many of you joined us? Are you in the comments? Pariah System, that's what it was. Burn the Throne. Thank you so much, Tyler. Love it. Now, we also did the same slide twice. Well, I tell you what, while I get my stuff in order, let's go ahead and kick into some tunes. Now, one of my good friends, Thad, he is in a band called Severmind. We featured him several times on the show, and they've got this new track that is just, I love it so much. And I saw it dropped on their Facebook page a couple of days ago. So here it is with Here to Stay. And that was a clip, a little taste of Here to Stay. You guys have got to check them out on Facebook. They've got some amazing stuff. They're also available anywhere that you get your music. But we've got a long interview that I am itching to play. I will also be joining you folks there in the comments. And this clip, this interview, was very much brought to you by Rockavet, my man Jason. linked this one up and wanted me to reach out and get to know somebody that I have been listening to on the radio for many years. And one of my favorite shows here in Tulsa, one of the... sorry about that. Alrighty, while I get my stuff in order, I'm going to go ahead and play this interview. With the locks that rocks, Adam Richmond, and this is Surviving Rocklahoma. And I am joined by a special guest that we all know and love. See him all over T-Town, and he's one of the wonderful voices of KMOD's Big Mad Morning Show, Gimpy McGee.
Hey, buddy, thanks for having me.
Thanks for stopping by Tahlequah. Man, it's a drive for you all. How was the ride in?
Oh, it was beautiful. It was a little chilly, I'm not gonna lie, but it's totally worth it, man.
I never had the chance to actually go on a long ride. How do you? I mean, does that take some getting used to riding in the cold?
Not really. I mean, you just got to layer up, put your gloves on, put your beanie on, know, your leathers or whatever, and you're good to go. I guess the biggest adjustment would be like, I feel like Ralphie sometimes off of Christmas Story. He's got that, he's like, I can't put my arms down.
The walking starfish.
Right, exactly. But other than that, man, it's all good. Once you get moving, it ain't bad at all.
I like it. Have you been able to ride very much this year?
Yeah, man, I ride every day as long as it's not raining or snowing or whatever,
Gosh.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm a little too hungover, I'll leave the bike at home, but for the most part, I'm on two wheels everywhere I go.
You're a trooper.
Yeah, man.
So tell me a little bit. It's just so surreal having you as a guest on my podcast after listening to you all for so long. Yeah. And it is such a head trip for me. You've been doing radio for how long now?
I'm in there 12 years now, man.
12 years.
12 years, yeah. It's the longest job I've ever had. Longest relationship I've ever had.
I bet. Is that a lot like, I gotta assume that's got to be like a marriage, being on the air all day every day.
Oh yeah,
and all of that stuff.
You got your partners or whatever, and you're with them every day. I'm with those guys more than I am any wife or girlfriend or anything like that. You know what I mean? So it is like a marriage, and we have our ups, we have our downs, but for the most part, it is what it is, and we just try to have fun. That's it.
Right. Are you local? I mean, are you from this part of Oklahoma? Where'd you hail from?
No, I've been in Oklahoma since '93, and in '97, and I've been here ever since. My parents forced me to move down here. Mom got a job or whatever when I was 17, and when I moved down here, I was like, "Fuck this place! I'm out of here as quick as I can." And boy, I tell you, it grew on me. And I got kids here, I got roots here, and I don't want to go anywhere else. To be honest with you, I like it.
I dig that. And can you tell me a little bit about the change of the local music scene over the year?
Dude, all right, so when I first got here, really wasn't much, but it's really blown up over the years, I try to get out as much as possible to see local bands or whatever, if they're playing at a bar or something like that. I love that stuff. That stuff. But it is really, and we're getting more and more bands, we're getting bigger bands, where it's impressive what we got going on down here. Just so much as how Tulsa has grown in general, not scene, but just in general. How I remember back in maybe like 99, 2000, me and my buddies would go downtown, right? And it was empty. We just go down and wander around, skateboard or whatever, and then it blew the hell up, over the past couple of years. So I'm very impressed.
What called you to the radio?
So I used to run a fast food joint up in Owasso, whatever, and I'd go on my breaks across the street, and because I knew the guys that owned the liquor store over there. So we'd get into the broken bottles, right? Quote unquote broken bottles. And I'd get lit up and I'd just start fucking with people, you know, in the drive thru. Hey, if you were a hamburger, what kind of hamburger would you be? Whatever, stupid stuff like that, right? And people were like, oh man, you're funny. You need to be in radio. You got a great voice. You need to be in radio. So like after the 100th time of hearing that, you know, I was about 19, 20, trying to figure out what I'm going to. This is no lie. I was at that restaurant and I got a call, and it was a butt dial is what it was. Right. And somebody was listening to Star 103. And like I said, I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. And I knew that was kind of an option, but I wasn't 100% sure. And I took that call as my actual calling. And that's when the light bulb went off. I was like, that's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. I got to go into radio. So I went into broadcasting school, you know, did that for the year and got out. And the thing about radio, man, is it's a tough market to break into. You know, once stations have their personalities, you got to wait for somebody to die, basically, to get in. So it took me 8 years to get in. And, you know, I was almost giving up, but I still had that fire inside. I knew that that's what I was meant to do, you know, and so when I got hooked up with the morning show, I kept emailing Biggie and Corbin constantly. Hey, I knew if somebody just give me a chance, right? I could prove myself, and then it was done after that. It's just finding somebody to give me the chance. In fact, I was 26, 27 or whatever, and I called my now boss, right? And I bugged him, and I was like, hey, man, how do I get a job? I was like, everybody wants 2 years of experience, right? And he's like, I get it. How do you get 2 years experience without, you know, getting in like that? He's like, intern. Okay. Well, I was too proud at the time. I got a wife, you know, kids, you know, stuff like that. And I was like, I can't work for free. I can't do that. And then I finally, you know, moved on from that relationship to another one. And we got married. And I was like, I want to do this. I really want to do this. I was like, I have an opportunity. And she's like, well, go for it. We'll figure it out. And sure enough, I got in. They're like, come on down. Give you an interview. Did an on-air interview. And I was in after that. So I did for a little bit, but it was only like 6 months. Nice. You know, and I fell right into the best show on the biggest station in town. You can't beat that, man.
What about that? That's got to be a head trip too, because like you're waiting for that break, and then you get there and it feels like it's gels and it's right where you want to be. And then now you're up on the pedestal. You've made it. You've reached that goal. Can you tell me a little bit about operating after that once you've achieved that goal?
You know, it's just. Well, honestly, it's just everyday life. You know what I mean? Just like you get up and go to work every day. Everybody else just gets up and go to work. It's work, you know? And I've thought about that. Well, what's the next goal? You know, what's the next goal in life? Would I like to have my own show? Sure. Right. But am I going to push it? Not so much, man. That everything happens for a reason. Sure. And everything happens the way that it should. I am right where I need to be right now. And when the next chapter opens, I'll know when it's time, and then it'll go from there. But I'm not going to push it because I found if you push things in life, it usually falls apart on you. You know, so I'm just like, all right, we'll just let it go and see what happens. You know,
spoken like a true stoner like myself. Would you? One thing from doing this show that, you know, we all can say it until we're blue in the faces, but we still can't help but to put like our musicians, our favorite rock stars and stuff on that pedestal. Yeah. And then you get down and you start meeting them and they're just everyday people. Some of them are like the coolest people ever. Some you don't meet your heroes.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me what was some of your favorite meet and greets?
Oh man, yeah. We just got done hanging out with Solo Yerna from Godsmack. What was that, last Thursday or whatever?
Congratulations, by the way.
And I'm a huge Godsmack fan. Right. And I've met him a couple of times before. We've had him in the studio and at Rocklahoma or whatever. But to be able to sit down with him for a whole hour and just shoot the shit like we're doing right now was amazing. He's just an awesome dude. He's very grateful, you know, for what he's got and how he got there. You know, he's said it many times before. If it wasn't for radio and touring, they wouldn't be where they're at right now. So he was an awesome interview, and he's just a good dude. And he's like, I'd like to hang out with him. You know, let's go have some beers or whatever. Maybe, you know, play some cards or whatever. So that was a good one. Another probably most memorable one was Rocklahoma. Not last year, maybe last year, the year before. It was Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll. I seen a picture up there on your wall or whatever. So, Rocklahoma, right? I'm minding my own business. I'm outside smoking a cigarette, and I look up, and I seen him walking this way, and I just said, "Motherfucking Jelly Roll," and he looked, and he said, "Motherfucking Jelly Roll," and he come over, and we start talking or whatever, and I was like, "Hey, man, we're not slated to have you on, and I know you're a busy kind of guy." Yeah. I was like, "But we'd love to have you in the studio and talk for a little bit." He's like, "Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Let me finish up with these guys over here, and then I'll be right there." I was like, "Awesome. Hell yeah." So like 45 minutes go by, and I was like, "This sumbitch. Yeah. This sumbitch is leaving me. He's going to leave me hanging." And then all of a sudden, you see the eclipse, because he's a big guy, you know, just kind of shadows everything. And I said, "Oh, damn." So he came in and sat down. I tried to give him a chair. He's like, "I'm a fat man. I can't sit in that." So he pulls over my cooler and uses that as the chair. And I was like, hell yes. So we sat and talking. He was an awesome dude too. He sat there and shook every hand. Autograph. We had to pull him away. His handler was like, "Dude, we got stuff to do, man. Come on, can you get him?" Yeah. I'll be there in a minute. And but yeah, he was a really awesome kind of guy. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned Rocklahoma. And by the way, congratulations to Jelly Roll, man. He's winning all those awards and everything.
Right.
CMT really award and now Grammy and all of this. Yeah. You mentioned Rocklahoma. Can you tell me a little bit about your side of Rocklahoma in terms of, I'm sure you've been as a fan, and then you've been as the media.
To be fair, I've only been as media.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never been to Rocklahoma before I got into radio. I'm not going to lie. Wow. So getting in on it on the backside of it, it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. You know, and I am a huge fan. You know, of Rocklahoma and that festival. And for the first couple of years, I would just go out there and then drive home and then drive back. And the last couple of years, I started out there, and that, my friend, is the way to go. That's the best way, because you don't have anything to worry about. You don't have to worry about police or people. You know, I think the last time I rode home, which is funny. Your podcast is called Surviving Rocklahoma. And I actually survived Rocklahoma. I was on my way back, and I was around Catoosa. I was on my motorcycle. It was storm and rain, had a passenger, and laid my bike down. Yeah. Oh my God. And she went flying off, landed in the grass or whatever, and I hit the ground, and I'm sliding, and I luckily I had my helmet on. Right. Usually I don't ride with one, but for that reason that day, I had my on. So as my face is sliding across the asphalt on 412 out there by the Hard Rock, I was just thinking to myself, man, I'm glad I got my helmet on. You know, my hand got pinned underneath me, so I'm sliding down the road or whatever. Right. And I ended up ripping my hand up pretty good, severed right here on my wrist or whatever. And I took me to the hospital, and I told the doctor, I was like, "Can't you just sew me up and send me home or whatever?" She's like, "Yeah, but if we don't fix that, you're going to lose your hand." And I was like, "Well, it's the only good hand I have, so let's go ahead and do it." So they did. They cinched me up or whatever, and I'm back. So I literally survived Rocklahoma.
Man.
Yeah.
Gosh, so glad. And I want to bike so bad. Do you have any, you mentioned the storms, and it storms like almost every year at Rocklahoma.
Yeah, back when they had it in May, every year. I'm glad that they switched it to September, because we don't have that problem anymore. Right. It's hot as all balls, but you ain't got to worry about the storms. You don't have to worry about getting rained out. The mud. Although it was kind of neat watching those girls wrestle in the mud, I'm not going to lie.
I'm saying. And, do you have any favorite storm stories from Rocklahoma? Because we've all dodged one or two.
Favorite ones? Not really, because it sucks, man. When the storms come rolling in, it shuts everything down. Right. And we're just stuck there. in the booth waiting for the rain to pass by. And then it passes by, and then we'll get another band or two on there, and then another one comes through. And then sometimes, it's been a couple times where it just shuts down the festival early. And I hate that, you know, because those bands, they came out there, they're expecting to perform. You know, the fans are out there expecting that. And when it rains and it storms and there's lightning and stuff, you know, it ruins everything. So I don't have a favorite. No, I hate that shit. I'm glad that they moved it.
Our mutual friend Christy loves the rain at Rocklahoma,
Yeah.
so we. I think I'm going to say that one's for you, Christy.
You can take that rain elsewhere, man.
2015, that was the closest I ever got to seeing Lincoln Park, and they got rained out.
Right.
And then 2 years later, we lost Chris Cornell,
Yep.
and the year before that, we lost Scott White. There's a little bit of a curse there, so I am glad that it's on Labor Day.
Yeah.
Do you have any other favorite local festivals that you like to catch?
You know, not really, to be honest with you. You know, nothing that comes to mind.
Right.
You know, Rocklahoma is, well, that's it, man. That's a coup de grace right there for me. Other festivals, we had Hop Jam. You know, that one was fun if you like craft beer or whatever.
Right.
I am a big fan of Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just mostly because you're getting pissed drunk and having a good time or whatever. But, you know, it's good to go out there and watch the games or whatever. But, yeah, I'm just like everybody else, man. You know, whatever comes to town, if it sounds like fun, I'm in.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of the local bands that have started to make their ways up a little bit. Do you have any standout local bands for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100% the Normandys.
Yes.
The Normandys, man, those guys are freaking amazing.
Right.
And we do fans contest for Cancer Sucks, for the Cancer Sucks show in November. And those guys have won 2-3 years in a row. And listen, people are like, oh, you're showing favoritism. No. Step up your game. I can't help it that they're that friggin' good, you know, that they've won so many times or whatever. So them, Weston Horn and the Hush.
Yes.
Which is awesome. They're like a fucking 10-piece band or whatever, but they put on a phenomenal
full
show.
Trumpets, whole 9 yards.
Labadee House is another solid one that formerly known as For the Wolf or whatever, and those guys are awesome. Who else do we have out there, man? There's so many of them out there. But yeah, I'd have to say for those are the ones that stand out the most. Yeah,
I got you. So, when you're not on the radio, what are you doing in your downtime?
Usually drinking. I'm just being honest with you.
Sure.
You know, I hang out, I play video games at the house or whatever. Watch TV, go to the bar, shoot pool, play darts, stuff like that or whatever. Yeah.
Shit you out. So tell me a little bit about your roots, like coming up, like where you said you're not from here originally.
Yeah.
Where did you come from?
I grew up in California, spent the first 10 years of my life out there, Air Force Pratt. So I lived out there for a while. And then when my folks got out of the service, we moved to Alabama. That's where my mom's side of the family, and you want to talk about culture shock, man. You know, I'm coming from the West Coast, Bay Area, and we're going to the deep woods of Alabama. Fucking hillbillies. But, you know, I moved out there when I was like 10, and then lived there for to about 13, so about 3 years, and then we moved here to Oklahoma. I lived in Newkirk, if you know where that's at, northern Oklahoma. Lived there for about 3-4 years, something like that, and then been down here in Tulsa ever since.
Nice. Good. And we've you spend a little bit of time there out here at the river and everything. Do you have any standout memories of your time out here on the river?
Oh, Jesus Christ, man, yeah. Let's see here. Back when I was 19, something like that, yeah. Floating the river with my friend. He passed away that year or whatever. So it was with his sister, and we spent like 4 days on the river, a whole bunch of us, me and my brother. And I had this it was an old like 94 Ranger or some shit like that, right?
Oh, shit.
And we did nothing. My brother and I did nothing but just drink all weekend long, and passed out in the back of the truck. I woke up puking bile because, you know, you need to eat when you're drinking, but as a 19-year-old kid, you don't think about that. You're like, woo, let's party or whatever.
There's nutritional content on here.
Right. It's a pork chop in a can, man. trunk, jumped into the river with my boots on, and damn near sank to the bottom. I had somebody come and fucking pick me up or whatever, so that was a lot of fun. Let's see, birthday a couple of years back.
Yeah.
I try to get a cabin or camp or something like that, you know, for my birthday, and we float the river, and we all just have a good time. Last year we did it, and my buddy Chip, he brought a gallon of pickle juice shots, right? And he makes them strong. And between like the 12 of us, we polished that bottle off before we even made it a gallon to the stopping point or whatever. So that was fun. It got to the point where everybody was just like, you know what? Let's just go. So we're all trying to hoof it back there. We're all pissed drunk. Everybody's falling over. It was a good time.
I freaking love it, dude. Yeah. Oh man, I am so ready for the river. I got my kayak last year, and now after retiring, I suck at golf, so I figure, well, maybe us Gen X for retirement.
Why not? I've seen that. You actually inspire me. I want to get one. You know, I've been wanting to get one for a while, but you know, that stuff's not cheap. You know what I mean? They're not cheap at all. So I'm like, okay, save up a couple $100 and go get a decent one. You know, I've been looking around on, you know, Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. But if you want a decent one, you're going to have to put some coin on it. But I figure, why not? Why not get one, you know, and strap to the top of the car and let's go down the river and have some fun.
See, as I've mentioned, I've been dying to get a motorcycle, and since I can't afford a motorcycle, I'll figure I'll water a motorcycle.
There you go.
One of those cheap $200 Walmart kayaks, and then I'm set. Could jump out there on the river.
Oh yeah.
And it does. A lot of it reminds me when us adults get out there and get crazy. It reminds me a lot of the campgrounds there in Rocklahoma, and going back to the campgrounds. We had mentioned that, you know, things had evolved in the music scene over, you know, since you came in and been on KMOD, and you've got to see everything grown and know intimately the evolution of the local music scene. And then the campgrounds, you know, since, you know, 2013, 2014, those have also been changing and metaphorizing, or I can't even say the word.
Metamorphosizing.
Thank you.
There you go.
See, radio, man. Can you tell me a little bit about seeing that evolution of things going from manifesting into groups and such?
You know, when I first started getting into it, you know, I mean, people are out there camping, they're partying, whatever. I love to just go walk around the campsites, you know, and just check out everybody's little party area, you know, and people are like, here, have a beer, have a shot, blah, blah, blah. Here, hit this. All right, cool. And then like the big old bus, that's probably one of my favorite spots out there to go and party and hang out. And they do it up right. You know, they go out there, they have games and, you know, dancing on the poles or whatever, you know, and so many boobs. But yeah, I'll never forget, what was it, our buddy Jason Polk.
Yes.
This was a couple of years ago or whatever. And they had asked me, hey, would you like to be a judge for the wet t-shirt contest? I'm like, well, yeah, that'd be fantastic. I love wet t-shirts. And it was, the thing was, though, it was on a Friday. And it was after the show. It was like 1:30 in the morning, right? Yeah. Well, by that time, I'd already been up for 24 hours straight, right? So Polk comes up. He's like, here, eat this. And gives me a gummy. I'm like, all right, great. So I did, and I'm sitting back, and it's me and my girlfriend at the time, and we're just waiting for, you know, the t-shirt contest to start up, and I'm sitting on this couch, and next thing you know, I'm out. I'm fading hard, and I wake up, and I was like, oh, all right, nothing yet. I'm out of here. So I hate to have to bail on them, but I was tired. Yeah, I was tired. I was like, if you do your, you know, wet t-shirt contest on a Saturday, I'm. But, you know, on a Friday, I'm just up so freaking long. I get up at 1:30 every morning to get ready for work or whatever. And so by that time, I am spent. So, yeah, definitely if we, you know, do it the next day, we're all right.
And, man, that whole weekend is a marathon and a half. And before I started doing the podcast, and I was just able to walk around, you know, just like everyone. And that's bad enough. And then us out there, I don't know how it works for y'all, but I mean, if you want to maximize the media, I mean, you got to be there at like 11 o'clock, set up, waiting for Jelly Roll or somebody to stop by and grab it. And then we go until like the show stops.
All right.
And that's tough.
So do you really get to enjoy the concert itself because you have to be back there in the media tent so much, or?
I disappear a lot. I like to tell people a rock and roll ninja. I call it my bullshit dough. I try to schedule out my interviews, find out who I was able to land, and then I just kind of run out and just kind of take it all in a little bit. I'm sure you know how that works.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And one thing with the hearing loss, I don't really get to listen in to the live music as much as I used to. I mean, I still feel it. Yeah. I've become kind of like a heightened to vibrations and stuff. But the thing I love about doing what we do is we get those chance encounters with someone like Jelly Roll or, you know, Shinedown may walk through and not have any, and they just the meeting the people personally and see what they put into the music that they make. It's very fair trade. Because like you said, you know, everybody, I mean, all these rock stars they're just people.
We're just people.
You get some of these folks that you watch on TV and you see the caricature of them. I think the most profound difference that I noticed was the guys of Gwar.
Okay.
So, you know, we've all seen Gwar, and I mean, they're just, you don't know how to process it, but if they come out without their makeup on and everything, you can't recognize them at all. And they're just, they talk like any of us. So I had no idea who these guys were. Right. And I did notice they were smiling a lot when they were walking around, and then they come back and like pro wrestlers, man. I mean, they're in character. And actually my first interview I did at Rocklahoma, I was so terrified and I was on my way. So I was really excited. I was like, all right, cool. I got Dirty Honey, other guys that I've heard of, and then I'm on my way, and then I got the email confirming Gwar.
Nice.
And that was actually my first interview, and I was about to shit a brick. But you see this caricature, and it's hard not to, I mean, it's hard to be nervous. And then once you say, oh man, I freaking nailed that.
Yeah.
And then it's all gravy after that.
Yeah, nerves are an amazing thing. You get in there, and once you do it, you're like, well, that wasn't so bad. Right. It wasn't so bad. It's a lot easier than what you think. But the other thing is, we build so much up in our heads. You know what I mean? And that's, people get psyched out. They're like, no, I'm done. You know, but if you just push past all that, you realize, oh, that ain't so hard. That ain't so bad. Let's do it again. Yeah.
Now, I'm sure we can't name names because doing what we do, we don't like to throw shade or anything, and I'm not that kind of podcast. But do you find yourself very often getting folks difficult to interview? Like, they just won't answer, or they're like maybe a rock star or who knows what they're doing. And you just get these guys, and it's supposed to go smooth, and all of a sudden they're just like sandbagging you.
Yeah, there's I've been fortunate enough to where like everybody's been pretty well on point. There was one band, like I said, we won't mention the names, like every other time we talked to them, it's been solid. But one time, I guess, I don't know, off, having a bad day, headache, maybe didn't get laid. Fuck, I don't know what the problem was. But it was, you know, it was just kind of, you could tell something was different. Something was wrong. And it was just like, all right, cool, whatever. Yeah. Fine, have a nice day or whatever. But for the most part, everybody I've ever talked to has been pretty solid.
Same. I had one, but it wasn't no big deal. And the great thing about it, being independent, if I don't get a good interview, I don't get a good interview. No one knows the difference. Yeah. And then sometimes and I'm not going to name names, he came in and that dude was like out of his mind. Like I don't know if he had been snowboarding. I don't know if he had taken some hills or anything, but he did not. I don't think he knew where he was.
That doesn't surprise me. That damn rock stars.
Right. Do you have any stories from your time in broadcasting where you've got an interview and it just took you to places that you just, where is this going?
No, not really. Not off the top of my head, anyway.
Yeah.
You know, we get in and we talk to them, promote whatever they're looking for, whatever, and then I guess maybe when we were talking to Sully last week or whatever, he came in, he was just full of energy and fire. You know what I mean? And I was just like, holy cow, what's going on here? He dropped the F-bomb on the radio and said shit, and because it freaked Corbin out. He's like, oh my God. His face started turning red or whatever. But I was like, all right, well, where's this going to go? And then it would just smooth right into it. It was awesome.
Working here, we're kind of like underground radio. We're like how the internet does pirate radio did back on the days. Tell me a little bit about your routine of being on an established radio show. I mean, you guys are the top rated morning show.
Oh yeah, we've been number one for decade,
as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your day.
Well, I get up at 1:30 every day. I make some coffee and I smoke a cigarette. I let my dogs out, and then I play video games until about 3 o'clock. So, and that just helps me wake up. I don't want to go to work and get on the air and sound like I just woke up. You know what I mean? So I like to sound fresh and crisp. So that's why I get up so early. People are like, be here until blah blah blah. Why do you get up so early? Because I don't want to sound like a retard. That's why.
Right.
So I get up, drink some coffee, play some video games, and I get in the shower, and I usually get to work about 4 o'clock, right? Show starts at 6. So I get there about 4, and it takes me about an hour and a half to get everything prepped up for that day. As the producer, if we got guests coming on or whatever, I got to get details for them. There's news that needs to be prepped for, stuff like that, whatever segment that we feel like doing or whatever that day. So it takes me about an hour and a half, and then I get about that 30 minutes there right before the show starts to kind of have that Eminem moment, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just kind of get your head in the game. It's like, all right,
sure,
we're ready to do this. And then 6:05, boom, we're on, and we rock it until about 10 o'clock, and then I go home, and then I take a nap. For a couple hours.
Have you always had like that? I call it a crazy schedule. Wake up at 1 and
right.
How is that? Just come with a job or?
Yeah. I mean, if I had a different job, I would not be getting up at 1:30 in the morning. I would still get up early, because like I said, I want to be awake. I want to be right. No matter what I'm doing, I don't want to sound like I just rolled out of bed and came in. I don't want to look like it, whatever. But so now I've always been a morning person as well. People are like, "Oh, goddamn, how can you have so much energy this early in the morning?" I'm like, "It's just how it is." So it if I had a different schedule, I'd still probably do things the exact same way. So far as this schedule that I'm on, it took me a little bit to get used to it, right? Going to bed at 8 o'clock, I usually in bed by like 8:30 or whatever. What really sucks is the summertime,
right?
Because the sun's still out, the kids are still outside playing, and I'm trying to go to sleep. You know what I mean? And you get that shine that wants to peek through the damn curtain as you're trying to go to sleep, and I'm like, good Lord. But whatever, you get heavily medicated and just pass out.
Hell yeah. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you stopping by so much and getting to know you, getting to know the man behind the microphone that we listen to every morning on KMOD, the Big Mad Morning Show, along with Corbin and Lindsay.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks, man. It's a little bit different being on this side of the microphone because we've had you on a couple of times, talk about the podcast and other things that you had going on with your life or whatever. So when you reached out, I was like, well, hell yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I got no problem with it. So definitely interesting. I appreciate you letting me come on.
Absolutely. It's always nuts whenever you get used to pushing all the buttons. Right. And then you get back and like, I don't have anything to hit.
What do I do with my hands? I don't know.
Well, we're definitely going to keep listening. And we know you're such a huge supporter of local music. Absolutely. We see you at the venues all the time. We see you around Rocklahoma in the campgrounds. So I thought it was very important that I get to sit down with the man Gimpy to see pick your brain, give everybody a taste of a different side.
Not much to pick, but all right then.
Now I'd like to finish up every interview, anytime I have a guest, and give my guest an opportunity to directly acknowledge the audience, and anything you got off your chest, anything you would like to say directly to the folks who listen to you. Gimpy, the stage is yours.
Oh, well, I look at that camera right there.
Yes,
all
sir.
right. So the only thing I can really say is follow your dreams. I know that sounds cheesy and corny. It really does. But if I never followed my dreams, I wouldn't be here right now. You know what I mean? So something out there you want to do, you're in a dead end fucking job, and you feel deep down inside that fire, like, I need to be doing this. Whether you want to be a fucking baker or, radio, television, modeling, whatever it is, you have that fire deep down inside. Follow it and keep pushing, because if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and it will happen. All right. And don't ever let anybody say, don't do that. Right. Don't do that. Don't let everybody stop you from doing what you want to do. And if they ever tell you, oh, you shouldn't do that, you tell them to fuck off and go on about your business. It's that easy.
I could not agree more. Once again, folks, I am your host with the Locks That Rocks, your favorite cyborg, Adam Richmond. And for Gimpy McGee, you are surviving Rocklahoma. Till next time, rock on. That was my interview with Gimpy. And it was so awesome hanging out with somebody that I've had the pleasure of listening to for so long. Whenever I switched from another radio station and came over, started listening to KMOD, I started listening to the morning show. I never really got to listen to Phil and Brent very much, but I came in towards once the Big Mad Morning Show had got established. So it was really, really cool getting to hang out with somebody that I got to listen to so often, and not to mention have a beer. So let me go to the comments real quick. Thank you all for the love. Give me, hey, studio audience, let's hear you. Yes, that's right. Sometimes you just need to bring your own applause, right? With that being said, folks, he did mention one of my favorite bands that anytime somebody says that, I really want to listen to some punk music. I really, there's some local bands that I want to feature and highlight and all of this other stuff. Well, this band is almost always at the top of my list. Ladies and gentlemen, the Normandys, Forgive and Forget. That was the Normandys. So much fun every time. Not only when you see them, just listening to their energy as it blasts forth. Anytime you put a track in, they're a great addition to any Spotify playlist. They are also on the Surviving Rocklahoma Locally Grown playlist, which was just recently updated. So make sure that you follow us on. Drop one of my cards. Follow us on Spotify as well as the Normandys. Whole lot of love to those guys. That was Forgive and Forget by the Normandys. You know, we've got some big stuff coming up in the next couple of months. Go into the comments before we segue in. We've got stoked that we have their old drums. Brandy, oh my gosh, congratulations on winning that at that silent auction. Let's see what I dropped there. There we go. I need to take their picks again. Well, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned picks. I tell you what, folks. A couple of years ago, I linked up with a good friend as we began to expand what we do here on Surviving Rocklahoma. And I was afforded, thanks to your ravenous appetites for the podcast and everything that we do. You guys shared it, the love. Every time we did a live stream, you showed up in numbers anytime we needed you to. And for that, we've been so fortunate to be granted media access to Rocklahoma for several years. And a couple of years ago, I was granted photo. Well, I did 1 year by myself and trying to do photos and interviews and everything. It was just, there's just no way that I could do it. So I got myself to pry myself away from the steering wheel a bit and take on somebody to help me. And a good friend of mine, Angel Lee, agreed to be my photographer for that Rocklahoma, and she has done some amazing work for us. Now, the reason for the long intro, ladies and gentlemen, is because she joined us last year when we did our trip to Key West, when we were granted media for Rock Island. We couldn't make it this year due to my medical issues, and we decided, you know what, we still need a road trip. So we are going to Daytona this year. And let me show you an example of what we are going to be treated to. So these are some of our past pictures over the last couple events we've been doing. We have been fortunate to be granted media for Rock the River as well as Rock the Equinox. And let me see if I can find our Key West photos. Where are they at? And you can easily find her on Facebook, Photography by Angel Lee. Just some amazing, amazing shots. And last time we took a trip, we went to Key West, Florida. We met some amazing bands. She got some amazing shots, and it was thanks to that photography that we were able to be approved for other festivals. Now, we won't be working media this year for Welcome to Rockville, but we are going to be traveling almost like 1,000 miles, a little over 1,000 miles to Daytona Beach, Florida, here in May, where we are going to be attending the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. I've never been. I think Rebel is in the comments. Yeah, she's in the comments. I don't think she's ever been either. We are going to be traveling to Rockville, and so we are so glad to have her as a proud partner in this podcast and a proud sponsor of our endeavors. So we are going to be traveling to Daytona, and we're going to see the likes of Motley Crue, Foo Fighters. Let me tell you, I am the hugest Foo Fighters fan. Not to mention Queens of the Stone Age. Gimpy was mentioning bumping into Jelly Roll. We'll be seeing them there in May. Clutch, I haven't seen them in forever. Sum 41, Skillet, it's been a while since I've got to see them. I'm just picking names at random. This is a totally stacked lineup. I can't wait. And we're going to be bringing you our coverage. I'm going to be bringing my GoPro. Angel will be bringing her giant camera lens. And we are going to be catching some amazing images from the festival and everything, and show you how they do down in Florida. ICP, I didn't see ICP on there. Holy crap, I've never got to see them. Okay, now I was excited before, but now I'm positively getting. So thank you so much. We are so glad to join forces with Photography by Angel Lee. Now, let me tell you all something, folks. We love to support local music, and we've been featuring a local band several times here on the broadcast in the last couple of months. I mean, well, I'll just be honest, they're that good. And on top of that, they've been working a lot of shows. Let me see some of these other shows that they've been working. I know that they will be at the Vanguard this weekend, the 23rd, and I think you all want some tickets, don't you? I've got 2 tickets that I'm going to be giving away here on the broadcast coming up right after this track from Tretura. This is their newest single, Fast Life.
I see the rain falling. I see the storms, they're coming your way. But if you keep your head in, you just might lose the game.
And that was the local band Tretura. And you can see them this weekend. They're going to be playing at the Vanguard. I got 2 tickets up for grabs right now. First of all, studio audience, those of you in the comments, give them some love. Shower with those reactions, folks. I appreciate it. They are in the comments right now. Thank you so much, John Lee Wright. They said this is a little bit of an older video, but they are happy to be rocking out at the Vanguard. This song will be debuting, will be dropping on all of the streaming networks March 6th. So that's a little sneak peek of the track before you can get it. Let's see. So let's give them some love. So in the comments right now, hashtag Tretura in the comments. Now, while we've got that going on, we've also got another little contest that we've been running, thanks to our good friends over at Rocklahoma. I'm talking about the code word. We give this away every week. Now, folks, this one is going to be for veterans and active servicemen. Remember, save up these code words. We're going to run the promotion up into May, and then 2 winners that have the most correct code words saved up are going to win passes to Rock the River, the festival coming up here in Tahlequah. It's going to be amazing, man. Rehab is going to be there. Flaw, Scotty Austin of Saving Abel. Let's not forget the Texas Hippie Coalition, City of the Week, the Lonely Ones. Just amazing. And Tretura is also going to be there. But before then, we've got the Vanguard, February 23rd. And I'm sending Linda Stevens. Linda Stevens, congratulations. You've won 2 passes to the Vanguard for Tretura. Thank you so much, Tretura, for emailing us, survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com, and extending this gift of tickets to give away. And our good friend Linda Stevens has won those tickets. Hopefully she's got her +1 already in mind, but I'm sure she's always open to people sucking up there in the comments in case she needs a substitute, in case anything. Well, I tell you what, once again, sacrifice is your code word for you active servicemen and veterans. If you are not a veteran or active serviceman, tag one so that they get a chance to win a prize of music here in May. Awesome, folks. Now, that was our last feature here on the show, and we've got so much stuff going on. I'm so glad that we could be bringing you not only those local music or local bands, but also an interview with Gimpy McGee of the Big Mad Morning Show on KMOD. And I like to wrap up every show, first of all, by saying, you know what? Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your support on the Facebook page and all of those subscribes and likes that you've been doing here in the couple of weeks. We're going to keep doing what we've been doing. We're also going to be breaking out into some video gaming and some other things. I've been experimenting with Reels on Facebook. There's some really cool software that cuts up all of our interviews and everything and puts it up. So you might check that out on the Facebook page too. If you've got anything that you would like to have on the show, or I tell you what, bands, if you would like to be featured on the broadcast, all you got to do, survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com, submit your music while you're at it. include your gigs as well. We'd love to let everybody know where you're playing, much like we did with Tretura, who's going to be playing at the Vanguard on the 23rd. And once again, survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com. Also, remember to hit that like button, follow, subscribe. We're available anywhere you get your podcasts. Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, all of those cool toys. Anywhere that you get your music, check us out. Surviving Rocklahoma on all of the streaming services. And I think that about does it for us, folks. Remember, we've got our proud sponsors. First up is DEB Concerts,
I wanna rock!
as well as At Your Service Rentals
Dinner was full!
and Rockavet, as well as the Rocklahoma Bitches and the Big Ol' Bus, as well as Photography by Angel Lee, our proud sponsor and partner. If you would like to sponsor Surviving Rocklahoma, do me a favor. Shoot me an email, survivingrocklahoma@gmail.com. But that does it for us. The show ran a little bit long. Thank you for tuning in thus far. Don't forget to reach out if you would like some merch. We've got those, we've got those really cool shirts that I was wearing in the interview. The proud member of the local music scene, as well as our Surviving Rocklahoma official podcast of Rocklahoma. Both of those are available for $20. Shoot me an email, survivingrocklahoma@gmail. Include your name, your address. I'll shoot you the payment link, and we'll get those sent over to you as soon as we can. But until next time, folks, stay on the positive side of life. And until next time, rock on.